world record holder with silver. Murphy, second. Armstrong with bronze. Ryan Murphy, world champion of the 200 back.
Give it 100%. We gonna take on the world.
To the wall they go, and Smith will get it done. Gold for Reagan Smith. Alex Walsh gonna rocket her way to gold here, and Leah Hayes with a world junior record in taking bronze. Bacon gets silver, Ryan White with bronze.
Give it 100%. We gonna take on the world.
Bronze for Team USA.
And they tied.
Tied for bronze.
Erica Brown gets a medal.
No one can stop us, we got it.
Flickener gets in there with silver. It's wide open towards the wall, and Burkhoff gets in for silver. The United States will win going away. Gold in the men's 4x100 free relay en route to a rousing rout here in the mixed medley relay. The United States with gold. O'Callahan coming strong, but Curzan with enough to get there for gold for the United States.
We're gonna take on the world.
Lily King to the wall, gets the 200 title.
What a great moment, and Kate Douglas gets in there for a medal. And here comes Grimes, she's closing a little bit.
Grimes in with silver, and Emma Wyatt with bronze.
Goodbye. Katie Ledecky's gonna win another gold, 16, and Smith gets bronze.
World Championship gold number 17. Golden together for Team USA in championship record time. The 5-peat complete for Katie Ledecky in the 800 free.
Here he comes.
Bobby Fink hitting the gas to another gold.
You've been finked.
Too close to call, and it will be Fink with gold. American record for him. Andrew in there for bronze.
Well, we've had a national age group record, a world junior record, a Paralympic American record. What awaits us on night number 3 here in Fort Lauderdale? Our first event of the evening, the women's 200 freestyle. B final.
Take your marks.
And we're off. First event of the evening, women's 200 freestyle B final. RFK swim teams Giovanna Medeiros in lane 1, Addison Sawicki of the Sarasota Sharks in 2, Maddie Harris of Wales in 3, Katie Grimes of the Sandpipers of Nevada finding herself in a B final in lane 4, Katrine Sapard of Canada in 5, Isabel Ivy out of the University of Florida in lane 6, Gabby Duluth of Tennessee Aquatics in 7, and Aspen Gersper of St. Andrews Aquatics in lane 8. 27.88, Savard out to an early lead. 29-year-old from Canada in lane number 5 was a 2:00.53. She's been 1:57.1 in her career. Part of many Canadian national teams in her career. But she yields at the 100 to Katie Grimes, who takes the lead, 57.70 for Grimes. This morning, Grimes was out in a 59.2, so over a second and a half improvement for Grimes from morning to evening. Gabby Duluth sitting in 3rd in lane 7. Duluth, the World University Games gold medalist in the 100 freestyle back in 2019. And it's Grimes, Savard, and now Maddie Harris. Harris of Wales. In that A final in the 50 backstroke a night ago as well. She was 2:00.63 this morning. is trending considerably faster than that as well. But Katie Grimes with incredible closing speed as always, well down the stretch. Looks like she is going to run away with our B final. And she'll post a 1:58.04.
NBC Sports presents the TYR Pro Swim Series. Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lovely. Another glorious evening weather-wise here in South Florida at the site of the International Swimming Hall of Fame. Over 400 swimmers at this meet, including 20 Olympic medalists, all taking part at this beautiful, newly refurbished City of Fort Lauderdale Aquatic Center. Jason Knapp, happy to be alongside a guy enshrined here at the Hall of Fame, Rowdy Gaines. And Rowdy, a lot of beautiful swimmers and a lot of those Olympic medalists in our races tonight.
I mean, it is one Olympic gold medalist after another, world champions. We've got a little bit of everything, and nothing finer than to start with that name right at the top, Katie Ledecky.
Certainly can't beat that as you look at the view here. Not far from the beach and the Intercoastal Waterway as well on the other side here in Fort Lauderdale. Finalists coming out here for the women's 200-meter freestyle. Federica Pellegrini, still the world record holder, now retired. Allison Schmidt, the American record holder. And Katie Ledecky won the Rio Olympic title in this race in 2016, one of her 7 Olympic golds. 5th in Tokyo in the 200. Didn't swim it at the Worlds last summer, but certainly a worthy competitor here in this field. Bella Sims in the mix. She was teammates with Ledecky as part of the gold medal winning 4x200 free relay team last summer in Budapest. She'll be in lane 1. Reagan Smith alongside in lane 2. World record holder in the 200 back. She's racing that later. 5th fastest in prelims in this event for the 21-year-old. Leah Smith, another part of that gold medal winning relay team for the U.S. last summer. One of her 10 Olympic and world medals in her career all time. Lane 4, Summer McIntosh, the 16-year-old Canadian, fastest in prelims by about 2 seconds, just off her own junior world record time. Katie Ledecky is there in lane 5. Again, won the 200 U.S. national title last summer. Time would have won the world title last summer if she had swum the event. Ella Jansen in lane 6. Canadian, 17-year-old, future Tennessee Volunteer, looking speedy too. Siobhan Haughey from Hong Kong, Michigan alum, Olympic silver medalist in the 100 and 200 free from Tokyo, working her way back from ankle surgery last summer. And Claire Weinstein, 3rd in the 400 free at this meet for the 16-year-old from Sandpipers of Nevada. 4th and final member, Rowdy, of that golden group from Budapest in the 4x200 free relay for Team USA. Look at them and those smiles on the podium.
Yeah, all serious here tonight, but they had plenty to smile about last summer.
Take your marks.
Now you think about this race, it's rare that we say Katie Ledecky is not the favorite, especially on domestic soil. But that could be the case here. She's not going to let Summer McIntosh run away with this. But boy, McIntosh, you said it, just missed her world junior record this morning. Her 1:55.04 in prelims would have been good enough for silver at the World Championship last summer. That was a bit of a pedestrian 200 freestyle last summer, 1:54.9 wins it. But still, this is a swimmer we've been talking a lot about, and we're not going to stop anytime soon, Jason.
Certainly that's the case. Rowdy, we saw her continue her greatness here, winning the 200 fly already at this meet, breaking her own world junior record, and again, the time for prelims within striking distance of maybe doing it again. Ledecky stalking her right now alongside in lane 5, but Ledecky about 3/10 behind on Hawley. All she is the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo. She's there right now in 3rd.
Yeah, you talked about the relay members, and then you talk about these other swimmers like Hawley up there in lane number 7. She, because of that Olympic silver medal, you never want to take anything away from her. She is in the thick of this. Now all of a sudden, this is sort of a good race shaping up, but there goes Summer McIntosh with that great spurt into that third 50 right there.
Summer McIntosh surging ahead right now, lengthening the lead, almost 8/10 over Ledecky, who's trying to counter here, winding it up as we wind down here in the 200 free.
154.79 is her world junior record.
McIntosh still holding Ledecky at bay. And the 16-year-old from Canada who trains in Florida with the Sarasota Sharks, another impressive win. And Rowdy, she's done it again. Another here, beautiful swim and getting it done. Wow. Again, continuing to drop times, drop numbers, and deliver another phenomenal swim here, Rowdy. Another U.S. Open world record, world junior record here for Summer McIntosh.
Now you see that stat on the bottom, U.S. Open record. That's the fastest swim in history on American soil. So she breaks Katie Ledecky's U.S. Open record. There's the halfway point. Ledecky right above her in that white cap, trying to do as much as she could to match that early speed of Summer McIntosh, but she was just too much coming home. I mean, she was home in 28.9. Ledecky's 29 flat, but it was that third 50 that really was the difference. 29 flat to 29.5 Ledecky. Another world junior record. She's 2 for 2.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a reason maybe for a big smile. How's that sound, Summer? Congratulations. You lower it by about 6/10.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that swim. It hurt really bad. But overall, I just, coming into today, I wanted to see how I could manage the 2 free. I haven't swum it since World, so overall I'm really happy.
So what is it like? I know you've done it several times now. You're still only 16 years old, but still to stand up against Katie and have that great duel that you just had.
Yeah, she's an amazing racer, and I've always looked up to her. She's the greatest freestyler of all time, and to be able to race her is always an amazing experience, and I've always learned so much.
Now, some people are starting to learn a lot of things by watching you. Summer, congratulations.
Thank you.
Summer McIntosh, just 16 years of age and continuing to break records seemingly every time out. U.S. Open record as well, World Junior record, Ledecky second, Hawley third, but the Canadian is best here in Fort Lauderdale.
But it's time now for event number 14, the men's 200-meter freestyle. B final.
Take your marks.
Katie Lancaster starts us off in lane number 1 for the Bowl School Sharks. Daniel Namer in lane 2. Finlay Knox of Canada in 3. Brazil's Fernando Scheffer in 4. Kai Winkler, new owner of the national age group record in the 100 freestyle at Eagle Aquatics. He's in 5. Nicholas Almiero of Cardinal Aquatics in 6. Jay Litherland of Sun Devil Swimming in 7. And Cal State University Bakerfield Vili Sivic in lane 8. 50 meters in, it was a 24.8 from Sheffer in the lead. Knox with a 25.06. Knox was in the A final at the 100 breaststroke a night ago. Sheffer, though, 52.17 leads the way. Nicholas Alpiero also in an A final of the 200 butterfly, the NCAA champion of Louisville Cardinal in lane 6. He's a 52.61, about a half a second off of the lead of Sheffer. Here comes the final turn, and it looks like Alpiero has taken the lead at 27.8 on that third 50. That's finding another gear right there for Alpiero. What a back half he is having. Can he continue to hold that speed all the way to the finish? Here comes some charges. Kai Winkler in lane number 5 trying to make the pass in the final 10 meters. Alpiero looks like he's not giving anything back, and he will touch with the B final win at a 148.73. 149.02 for Kai Winkler, finishes in second place.
Here in a wonderful water world, via boat or other time in the wet stuff here at the International Swimming Hall of Fame. TYR Pro Swim Series action continuing here from South Florida. Time for the men's 200-meter freestyle final. Paul Biederman still the world record holder. Michael Phelps, the American record. And Kieran Smith, Olympic bronze medalist in the 400 free from Tokyo, 6th at those Olympics in this event, about a half second from winning another bronze. Did help the U.S. men to gold in the 4x200 free relay last summer at the Worlds in Budapest, and two of his gold medal teammates here in this final, in Trenton Julian in lane 6, and Drew Kibler in lane 8. Also is Luis Altamir from Brazil, top qualifier with a new personal best in the prelims, fastest by about 6/10.
Altamir looked really good and smooth this morning. Easy speed going out. A second and a half faster than anybody else on the front end of this race. See if he still has that easy speed here tonight.
Take your marks.
200 freestyle is another race that has just shortened up over the years. Jason, we talked about the 400 free doing that earlier, and now the 200 free. Well, now this is definitely a long sprint. You look at that world record, 142 flat. Scared a little bit last summer. Popovic, a young kid from Romania, became the third person in history to break 143 along with Phelps and, of course, Paul Biederman. But this event has really quickened over the last few years. There were 3 people under 145 alone in 22. Kibler, 45 flat, was the 4th quickest in the world last year. He's way up there in lane number 8. Still that speed, Jason, looking good. 50.51.2 actually going out. So he's a second faster than he was this morning.
Matthew Richards in lane 3 from Great Britain, second in the 100 free here at this meet in Fort Lauderdale, starting to close the gap and potentially overtake him here as they set up for this final turn.
Well, you know, showing that speed he did in the 100 freestyle has helped him here. Out there still in the lead, but close enough for Richards and Kieran Smith, who's not out of it. He's got great closing speed as well. Boy, look at this now. All of a sudden,
Richards is roared by, and Smith is charging too.
Watch Kibler up at the top.
Kibler trying to come hard. Trenton Julian as well, but this one is going to be Matthew Richards. Smith will get in there for second. Altamir fades to third. But the win from Matthew Richards, runner-up in the 100, and in the top spot here in the 200 free in Fort Lauderdale.
And this is a part of Team GB's really good potential 800 free relay. Nice swim by Kieran Smith. 147.3 right now for him. That's a great swim for that young American who is only 22 years of age. He's been around a long time, seems older, but look at this. Three-way shot of Richards, Altamir, Smith. Last turn. Altamir had it there, Jason. I mean, he was there, but then Richards, you saw it early. I mean, with about 20 meters left to go, he had that, you know, what we've been calling the surge, and there he is right in front of you, going by Altamir, going by Smith, and then coming home in 27.6. Smith was 27.7, but that was a great swim for the Brits.
And Matthew is here with us. Hey, congratulations coming off Commonwealth Games last summer. What are kind of goals and things you're focusing on here, getting ready for the rest of 2023?
Yeah, I mean, last year was quite a tough season for me. There were lots of things that didn't quite go the way I wanted them to, so I've made a few changes, the way I'm training, the stuff I'm focusing on, so we've really worked on a lot of the processes. You know, it seems like it's paying off. I'm swimming faster than I've ever done without a taper, so we got about 5 weeks left till the British Champs. So 2 more weeks of hard work after this, and then taper down and see how fast we can really go.
Glad to see the changes are working. Congrats.
Thank you.
Matthew Richards gets the win here in the men's 200 free. Smith surging for second. Altamir ends up third there to dead heat with Shane Casas and Trenton Julian rounding out the top 5. Well, up next, Lily King, usually best in the breaststroke, won the 100 breast already here at this meet, chasing another title in the women's 50 breast. That's coming up.
Our next event is the women's 50-meter breaststroke. This is our B final. B final women's 50-meter breaststroke underway. Not much of separation between this entire field here. 0.8 of a second from 9th to 16th. A very difficult A final to make it into because you had to be 32 very low. Actually 31.98 rather, in order to make it back into the A final. Slight edge looks like it might be in lane number 7. And that is the case. Caroline Larson with a 32.27 will win your B final. 32.72 for Emily Santos in second.
The Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard, where the golf course is firm and the greens are fast. It will test the PGA Tour's finest. Sunday, 2:30 Eastern on NBC. And Peacock, here about 3 or 3.5 hours drive away from Bay Hill Country Club site of that event. The water has been fast. The times, too, here at the TYR Pro Swim Series. Time for the women's 50-meter breaststroke final. And the American record holder here in the house, Lily King, 26-year-old out of Indiana Swim Club. Again, her results from the Olympics. Of course, double world gold medalist in this event in 2017 and 2019. Not able to three-peat last summer. Did win the title in the 200 breaststroke. She's one of the favorites here in this race. Annie Laser on the outside in lane 1. And Imogen Clark at the top time in heats by about a half second for the 23-year-old from Great Britain, who was second at the Commonwealth Games last summer in this event.
Strictly a 50 swimmer, fair in the 100, but she has speed. And this event, I wouldn't say it's a dicey event for Lily King, but it takes her a little time to kind of ramp up the speed. Hey, she used to be the world record holder, still the second fastest swimmer in history, so she does have speed, don't get me wrong, but got 7th at the World Championships last summer. She still has something to prove a little bit, and she's doing it right now.
White Indiana cap for King, getting ahead of Clark. Can she stay there? The Brit trying to challenge late, but Lily King to the wall and the win to take it by almost a half second. Lily King speeding her way to victory, her second of the meet.
I think she's going to be thrilled with that. The time right at 30 flat, but I think she's going to be really happy. She was almost a second slower in the prelims. I get it, it's a prelim. You take the edge off there, but still, you have to show a little speed in the morning. Here she is getting off to a great start. Good reaction time for her there, 0.66. That's as good as she's ever been off the blocks. And then she gets up right away and is very aggressive. She does not take time to kind of ramp up the speed like she sometimes does in a 50. All out right away there. And Imogen Clark did a good job of kind of closing at the end. Ran out of room. Not sure she would have caught her anyway.
Lily King with the win. Clark there in second. And Hawhey coming
great
home
double
in third position.
Hey, Lily, I mean, you really got after it right away on that 50 tonight. What was the deal with that?
Hey, I hope I win. It's only a 50, so kind of got to get up and go.
What do you think goes through your mind that's different than, say, the 100 breaststroke when you get up and race a race like that?
Honestly, for me with the 50, there's just a lot less thinking. It's, you're not going to die. It's only a 50. When you train for the 2 breast, it's kind of a fun race, so I just try to get off the blocks as fast as I can and get going.
Great swim, champ.
Thanks.
Lily King victorious here in the 50. Don't think, just go. And she did, smiling after seeing the result. How about Nick Fink and Michael Andrew? 2 Americans battled all the way to the wire in the 100 breast here last night. The rematch in the 50 breast for the men. It's next.
It's time now for the men's 50-meter breaststroke. This is the B final. B final men's 50-meter breaststroke underway. 28.83 in order to make it back. 28.31, the fastest of these 8 gentlemen from the prelims. You almost had to be sub-28 to make it back. We had a Pro Series record in the prelims. That's in the A final. Right now we got to figure out who's winning the B final. All sorts of people trying. But it's going to be a tie. How about that? Lane 8, lane 7, 28.31. Braden Tavasalo of Canada and Cohen Rankin of Army West Point tying to win the B final. Both going considerably faster than their prelims swims to take home a B final win.
Rolling our way to the starting blocks here in Fort Lauderdale as the action continues. The TYR Pro Swim Series Fort Lauderdale men's 50-meter breaststroke final. Nick Fink, the American record holder, got that en route to winning the world title last summer in Budapest. At age 29, found his best over the last year and a half or so, trying to get the crowd to amp it up, looking strong, out-touching Michael Andrew for the win here in the 100 breast already at this meet. Those two will be right alongside each other again. Cody Miller also in the mix here, the Olympic bronze medalist in the 100 breast from Rio, who's third in the 100 here at this meet. And Andrew, lane 4, next to Nick Fink, world bronze behind Nick Fink last summer in this race. Top time in the heats, new Pro Swim Series record time, 26.84 seconds, Rowdy. Top time in the world, and I think he remembers getting beat by 100th of a second at the wall last night.
Yeah, I think that is very fresh in his memory. Showed a lot of speed this morning, not far off his best time. And his best time is the 7th fastest performer in history. Right above him is the world champion at the 5th fastest performer, the only 2 Americans in the top 10.
And Fink, dark cap, lane 3. Andrew alongside lane 4, inching ahead. Tommy Cope as well for Club Wolverine in the mix in lane 5. Here comes Andrew, showing that speed from the prelims, trying to make it stand up. Can Fink get him again? Not tonight. Michael Andrew wins it by 2/10. 27.10 seconds. A little bit off that time from the morning, but good enough for the W.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with the clock, but whenever you can beat your huge rival, and you can see that great camaraderie, that great sportsmanship he has there. Anytime you can beat your rival, it's a big deal, but he's not going to be happy with the time, I can guarantee you, especially when he went 26.8. Again, here these two guys are right there, off the blocks quick. Both of them explosive. 29 years off age, Nick Fink can still get off the blocks with the best of them. And he's in the middle of this race. It really was very tight. And you're right, Jason, you kind of saw at the end, Michael Andrews sort of just figured it out from about 40 meters in and then got his hand on the wall. And that's a victory, and that's always a big thing here at the Pro Swim.
Michael is with us before his double turnaround, and Rowdy said you weren't going to be pleased with the time. What's your takeaway overall, though?
Yeah, like Rowdy said, I was a little slow the first 50, or like the first half of the 50. Found my rhythm towards the end. I think, honestly, I came into it trying a little hard to go fast, but breaststroke's one of those weird strokes.
I know you've got another 50. Go warm down. Hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Yeah, let's see if we can do this no breath.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Michael Andrew wins here in the 50 breast, ready in the 50 fly in just a couple of minutes. As we look at the results, Fink there in second, Cope in third. And Julio Jorrego represents Honduras, former Florida State standout there in fourth. Well, Abby Leitzel looking strong here so far in Fort Lauderdale, winning the 100 free at this meet. You know, you've seen people walk and talk in interviews before. USA Swimming want to try something new. Instead of walk and talk, how about a little swim and speak? Here's 50 meters with Abby Weitzel.
This is the B final. The final women's 50-meter butterfly took a 27.80 to find yourself into this race. 27.55, the fastest time in the heat, owned by Kylie Wilhelm. Simone Manuel, 100 freestyle American record holder in this heat in lane number 3. Great to see her racing again and racing well. Cameron Cannings looks like she may have a slight edge. And that is the case. 26.92, getting under that 27 mark is Cameron Cannings, the Canadian in lane number 6. 27.16 for Simone Manuel, finishing in second here in the B final, and then 27.17 for Caroline Larson, finishing in third. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome the A final of the women's 50 meters butterfly.
Abby striding out here in the finalists, the women's 50 fly.
And a stroke that she didn't like, her least favorite.
26-year-old from Cal Aquatics. Again, she rocketed to the win in the 100 free at this meet. Now top time in the prelims for the 50 fly with a new personal best, threatening for another victory here at the meet. Look at some of the other competitors. Katerine Savard, veteran from Canada, 3-time Olympian for her country there in lane 3. And Natalie Hines, Rowdy, U.S. national champ in the 100 free last summer, one of the captains for Team USA in her career, Olympic and world relay medalist for the U.S. Remember, she swam fly in a prelim leg for the Medley relay last summer, helping set the table for the U.S. to win gold in that event.
Yeah, 29 years of age and still going strong. Great representative for the United States, both in and out of the pool. Great leadership she has shown for so many different years. And there's another great leader, 26, Abby Weitzel, for least favorite stroke, and she's seated first. How about that? 50 fly only. It's only a 50. That one doesn't hurt. Remember, she said it hurts too much. I don't think a 50 is going to hurt too much. Once she turns, though, I get it. Quite a while there on that start. Still a good reaction. It's tough to be down there for so long. 0.65 reaction time, and she doesn't waste time, does she?
Certainly not. Weitzel looking to wipe out the competition again. The edge for a moment. Here comes Emily Beckman from Denmark in lane 5, trying to see if she can track down Weitzel. Weitzel to the wall, and she will here hang on. Actually, deadlock. Emily Beckman of Denmark, even up there at the wall, 26.27, a tie for the win between that duo. And Rowdy, how about this? A tie for third between Savard and Hines there, about 4/10 behind.
How about that? A couple ties, all right at the top, too. And yes, both of them have to walk over for the interview. I think they're both still kind of looking at it. Yeah, we did tie. It was great. Weitzel's reaction. There she is. Talk about reaction. That reaction off the blocks is classic Abby Weitzel. Great, clean entry. You can see she has that dolphin kick. That's what she's perfected in freestyle. She does it in butterfly. But Savard, Beckman just charges on at the end. How did she do it, though? I mean, it looked like all Weitzel right here. I mean, it must have been that last stroke that Beckman took to get in there for the tie. How about that?
How about it? Weitzel, Beckman there, tied. And both of the winners are with us. Emily, let me start with you first. Congratulations. What are you focusing on here in this year of 2023?
Oh, right now I'm just focusing on qualifying for World Champs.
Abby, we just saw your reaction to butterfly, and you said it's your least favorite stroke.
Well, yeah, I guess to train. I like doing the 50 fly. It's fun. So anything over the 50 fly, maybe like the 100, the last 15 doesn't go very well. So the 50's fun.
Hey, was there a surprise about the time? Because Abby, you looked the most surprised when you realized you guys tied.
Well, yeah, I mean, a tie's always a surprise. I don't really know. I kind of just go out there and spin my arms. So it's like I knew she'd probably catch me going into the last, 5 meters. So I was just putting my head down and trying, and we tied. So
Congratulations, ladies.
Thanks. Thank you.
A tie there for the co-winners here, the 50 fly. Beckman and Weitzel share the top honor here in Fort Lauderdale.
Time now for the men's 50 meters butterfly. B final. Men's 50 meter butterfly B final. Trenton Julian of Mission Viejo finds himself in a rare B final, but there he is in lane 5. Shows you how fast this meet is swimming. Ryan Held of New England Athletic Club, though, looks like he may have the edge as we get to the finish. It is Ryan Held, 23.99. Getting under that 24 mark. Maris Couche in second place with a 24.13. Finishes in second. And then a 24.28 for Trenton Julian. Finishes in third.
Another race on tap here, the men's 50-meter butterfly final. Caleb Dressel, still the American record holder. Michael Andrew, with double duty, just won the 50 breaststroke. Now, minutes later, back at it here for the 50 fly. Another race like 50 breast he won world bronze in last summer. Tied with Dylan Carter for the top time in the prelims. Here's the rest of this field, including Tom Carswell in lane 1, 22-year-old with a new personal best from Great Britain. Ilya Karoun, the 18-year-old from Sandpipers of Nevada. He'll be alongside. Remember, Karoun set a Canadian record in winning the 200 fly last night. New personal best for him in that race as well by over 2 seconds. And There's Karoon taking off the shirt, ready to hit the block, just off his personal best in this race of the prelims as well. Next to him in lane 3, Shane Casas, 23-year-old, training for Longhorn Aquatics. He had won the 100 fly at the U.S. Nationals last summer with a time that would have won silver at the Worlds in that race. Always a threat. There's Dylan Carter, 27-year-old, and champion of the 100 fly here last night. 4th at the Worlds last summer in this race for his native Trinidad and Tobago. Michael Andrew, again there. They tied for the top time in the heats. Diego Matos Ribeiro from Portugal, world junior record holder in lane 6. Zach Harding, Cardinal Aquatics, 3rd of the 200 fly at this meet. Race he swam in Tokyo, 2019 Worlds for Team USA. And Lewis Frazier of Great Britain, finalist in the 50 fly at the Commonwealth Games last summer.
Andrew swam that breaststroke about 10 minutes ago. Not a lot of rest. Dylan Carter comes in fresh. That tie in the prelims, that could be the deciding factor. Great start there by Shane Casas. He had the quickest start of the three. He also was doubling up. He swam the 200 freestyle earlier in the light.
Dylan Carter looking good in lane 4. Michael Andrew charging in lane 5. Casas there too. Andrew, can he double up? And, wow, another tie. Dylan Carter and Michael Andrew, just like they did in prelims, they tied for the win here in the final.
Again, back-to-back ties for the win. We had it in the women's 50 fly.
That's wild.
It is. I don't think I've ever seen, I've been doing this a long time, I've never seen back-to-back ties for win. Lots of ties for win. I've seen a lot of those. But never back-to-back, even in a 50. I mean, look at this. These two guys right here. And it's sort of like the race we just saw with Weitzel. I thought Dylan Carter looked like he had it. All the way to the end, it looked like Carter. He came up fast there, blue cap. Here he is right in the middle. Keep an eye on him and Andrew right above him. You see at that point, this is Dylan Carter, right? I know it's tight, but you've got to think Carter. But look at him punch that wall. Look at that. That extra half stroke. He had the momentum getting in the wall and lost momentum for Carter, and that was the difference. There, you see that long touch by Carter, and then Andrew able to get in really good finishes and swims by both.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. Back to back. Did you guys even see the tie in the race before you? Michael, did you see that?
I saw it. I was like wondering just before I was asking him, am I 4? Are you 4? Well, then I feel like we got to swim a third time, see who takes it.
Hey, Dylan, you had to turn around and start to have a little bit of confusion about what happened. Could you get a sense of where you were with Michael, even in a race like that? It's so short.
I really couldn't. We raced last week in Mexico, and he got me there. I knew it was going to be close. We were both fast this morning, so I was just trying. But that long finish, you know, it always kind of tricks you up.
Yeah, it's still a win, though. It's a win for both.
Yeah, so it's not an L.
We got Chicago. You race in Chicago?
We'll see.
Well, our next time we show up, we'll race.
We'll look for the sequel there. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, fellas.
Way to go, guys.
Cheers.
Dylan Carter, Michael Andrew. Different kind of synchronized swimming we've got going on right here in Fort Lauderdale now. Again, guys that were 3rd and 4th at the Worlds in this race last summer. Andrew and Carter tie for the top spot here. And again, terrific race here in the mix in this event. So the man from Trinidad and Tobago and the American, well, they'll share the honor here in Fort Lauderdale.
All right, let's kick it off with the women's 200 backstroke. This is the B final. B-final in the water for the women's 200 backstroke. Argentina's Andrea Berrino in 1. Kennedy Dobson of Eastern Express Swim Team in 2. Chloe Isleta of Sun Devil Swimming in 3. Aggie Swim Club's McKenna DeBever in 4. Julia Podkachelny of Pinecrest Swimming in 5. Kylie Wilhelm, Lifetime North Carolina in 6. Argentina's Milena Santina in 7. And Wales' Scarlett Major in lane 8. 31.09, Kylie Wilhelm, the 18-year-old of Lifetime North Carolina, leading the way in lane 6. She's about a half second, in fact, exactly a half second ahead of where she was in the prelims. Podkachelny in lane 5. Right there alongside 31.1 for Podkachelny. 300s behind the lead of Wilhelm. McKenna DeBever was behind about a half a second at the 50. A long race, the 200 backstroke. Receiving on the legs. Halfway through, lane number 6, Wilhelm still has the lead. Oh, correction. The lead now in lane 8, Scarlett Major taking a faster flip turn. Posted 105.29 on the front 100. Out in the 31.7, back in a 33.5. Wilhelm out in the 31.0, back in a 34.2. Podkachelny now in 3rd, DeBever in 4th. Could we have some outside smoke in our B final? Major at 2:18.58 this morning. 105.29 in that front 100. Exactly 2 seconds faster than she was to the 100-meter mark this morning. And now she's almost 3 seconds faster than her split at the 150 mark. Podkachelny moving up into 2nd place, splitting a 34.9, but Major splitting a 34.7. Podkachelny looks like she's gaining ground, however, as does it seem Chloe Isleta in lane number 3. The Sun Devil trying to track everyone down. Is it going to be Podkachelny? Final few strokes. It's a race to the finish here in the B final. And it will be Podkachelny, 2:15.02. Winning your B final, finishing in a 34.2 on that final 50 meters. Throwing down an incredible final 50. 2:15.39, Scarlett Major finishes in 2nd. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the A final of the women's 200-meter backstroke.
Pink, red sun fading in the distance here in Florida. And more great racing on display here, the women's 200-meter back final. Reagan Smith, the world and American record holder, set it when she powered her way towards the world title back in 2019. And Smith certainly a force here with her performances, not only in her career, but also here at this meet, and ready to get after it again after being victorious already here in Fort Lauderdale. Rest of the field here, including 17-year-old Bella Sims, Sandpipers of Nevada, and already with a couple of top finishes, including runner-up in the 1500 here, Olivia Smoliga, 2019 world champ in the 50 back, ready to give it a go here in the 200 back. Athena Menzies Kovacs from Mexico, and Team Charlotte's winning, will be in lane number 3. Reagan Smith tops in qualifying here by a few seconds. Katie Grimes, her closest pursuer. For the teenager from Sandpipers of Nevada, again, her pedigree, including world silver in the 400 IM last summer. Erica Peliz, 16-year-old from Eagle Aquatics, another A final for her, for the Floridian. She's in lane 6. Cayman Neal, lane 7 from Swim Mac, Carolina. And 13-year-old Audrey Derivo from Jersey Wahoos, her second A final of this meet. What an accomplishment for that youngster from South Jersey outside of Philadelphia.
Don't think Reagan Smith will be challenged here. There's Katie Grimes. just won the B final of the 200 freestyle earlier. Up 200 double. Reagan Smith also swam the 200. You know, you think about the United States, Jason, and how they have literally been so dominant in this event overall from a quantity standpoint, depth-wise. 3 of the 4 top swimmers in the world last year, all United States, 4 out of 7. Phoebe Bacon, Ryan White winning silver, bronze at the Worlds last summer. Bacon just missed that goal by 4/100th of a second. And Reagan Smith, who had the 4th fastest time in the world last year, would have been 4th at the World Championship. She didn't even make the World Championship team in an event that she has the world record in. That's how good the United States is in the backstroke events, both the 100 and the 200.
Wasn't able to try to back up that 2019 world title in Tokyo either. Didn't make the Olympic team in that race and wasn't able to defend the world crown last summer in Budapest, but certainly starting to be back on form, shifting her training home to Tempe and Arizona State, and is throttling the competition here as expected at the outset.
Oh, that's a beautiful underwater shot of that great rotation that she has. Her shoulder joints very flexible, great extension out front, good catch just above and beyond the shoulders. And again, watch her head, how still it is, and look at the quickness, the speed she has in getting from here over on the stomach and then off that wall right away. That's just beautiful. 133.1 on the way out. Boy, she's going to blow 210 out of the water. She was 3.5 seconds faster than she was in the preliminaries. I'm looking at 206, 207 right now.
Reagan Smith just cruising along here. Going to take the win in a waltz as far as the rest of the field goes, but certainly showcasing her abilities in this event. The world record holder with the win, 205.34. Again, new Pro Swim Series record, and drops about 5 seconds off her prelim time.
Wow. What a swim by Reagan Smith.
Fastest time in the world this year, Rowdy, by about 3.5 seconds.
Well, you can put that in perspective because we're young in this year, but if you take last year, that's the 4th fastest time of all of 2022. It was almost as quick as she went last year. She was 205.2 last year, 2.8. So 6/100ths off of what she went last year, rested and shaved. So this was a spectacular swim for this young 21-year-old. She's made that move now to Arizona State, swimming with that great team out there. Bob Bowman, one of the Mount Rushmore coaches, coach of Michael Phelps, and now look at what she's done. Wow, what a swim by Reagan Smith.
And Reagan is with us. That time looking pretty good at this time of the year. What pleased you the most? What felt good about that swim?
I just think I executed things really well. I'm really trying to focus on details right now because it's only March, so just trying to perfect my race time. Spend a lot of time focusing on technique, underwaters, things like that, and I think I executed it really well, so I'm psyched.
Yeah, and you did it off a double, Reagan. I mean, to come back just a short time ago off that 200 freestyle with another best time there, I mean, that's a pretty good night of swimming.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the night. That 2 free PB, I hadn't been that fast since 2019, so really, really pleased with my whole night.
Nice double, champ.
Thank you.
Well, from Reagan to Ryan, Olympic gold medalist, reigning world champ of the 200 back, Ryan Murphy, coming up.
We've had a little bit of everything already this evening, and we still got 3A finals to go, so let's keep things moving. This is the men's 200-meter backstroke. B final.
Take your marks.
Men's 200-meter backstroke underway. Wales' Zach Speakman in 1. Louis 14 of Canada in 2. Joey Kling of Army West Point in lane 3. Chris Thames of Metro Atlanta Aquatic Club in 4. Caleb Naldari of Swim Mac in 5. Baylor Stanton, Gwinnett Aquatics in lane 6. Landon Kaiser of Cold School Sharks in 7. And Zach Leith of Army West Point rounds us out in lane number 8. It's Thames in the lead. The 24-year-old from Metro Atlanta Aquatic Club leading the way. The A finalist in the 50 backstroke out in a 28.09. Naldari at 28.63. He was in second at the 50. Thames and Naldari about right where they were in the prelims. We'll keep an eye on those splits. 1:00:10 for Baylor Stanton, the 15-year-old from Gwinnett Aquatics, bursting onto the scene with some incredible 200 IM performances earlier this year. He's out in a 1:00:01. He was a 59.9 in the prelims. But it's Chris Thames leading the way, 58.97. He's about 0.4 of a second up on his prelim swim right now, trying to hold off Caleb Naldari in lane number 5. It looks like Naldari has the better of him at that final turn. That is the case. Fastest time in the prelims was a 2:03.51. Both of these guys looking to go faster than that right now, as they're both well under their prelims pace. Where will they end up? Look at the acceleration on this back 100 from 17-year-old Caleb Naldari of Swim Mac. He's going to fly under the flags, and he's going to take the B final and some. He's going to touch at a 2:00:96. Obliterating that 2:04.67 that he went in prelims. Let's keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for the A final of the men's 200 backstroke.
Is from some of the best in swimming here at the TYR Pro Swim Series. More competitors striding out for another final, men's 200-meter backstroke. Pearsall still the world and American record holder. Ryan Murphy continuing that tradition of phenomenal American backstrokers. Double Olympic gold for the now 27-year-old from the Rio Olympics in 2016. Silver in the 200 back in Tokyo. Finally got his long-awaited first individual long course world title last summer in the 200 back. Then swept the 50, 100, 200 back in short course world. So he has been on a tear here in the last year plus. We'll look at the rest of the field. Ezeil Morales, third best in qualifying for Missouri Florida Aquatics, the national record holder of Puerto Rico. You've got Chase Kalish, the Olympic gold medalist in the 400 IM, there in lane 7, and Jay Litherland, Olympic and world silver medalist in the 400 individual medley 2. He was second fastest in the heats.
Lane 7 from Sun Devil Swimming, Chase Kalish.
I think this is going to mirror what we just saw with Reagan Smith dominating. I honestly believe that even as great as Chase Kalish is, and his versatility has definitely shined throughout his entire career, there's no way anybody's going to beat Ryan Murphy in this 200 backstroke. The white cap right there.
Take your marks.
Oh. My eyes always zero in right on him on the start. 0.52 reaction time. I mean, how old is he? He's 27? Still quickest off the blocks. It's so much fun to watch him. I had an argument with a friend of mine the other day that who's the greatest backstroker in history? Well, you know, most people would say Aaron Pearsall, his body of work. He's got Roland Mathis, Odie Sturman, who won back-to-back Olympic gold medals. John Neighbor, Adolf Kiefer, going way back. I don't know, man. I put Murph right there in that conversation because of his body of work. He's done it all. World record, world champion, Olympic gold medalist. I mean, it is Pearsall-ish in many ways, what he's been able to do in the backstroke.
Finally checked that last box, as we alluded to last summer in Budapest. And now, Rowdy, with a lot of performers, health-wise, monetarily, sticking around longer in their careers, the opportunity to build on that, especially with another Olympics just around the corner, and of course the World Championships coming in Fukuoka, Japan later this summer.
That's sort of like Reagan Smith, who we just saw out much quicker, about 2 seconds faster than he was in prelims. 27.2, then he's 29.8, the only guy to break 30 on that second 50, 29.6 right there. The only guy to break 30 on that 50. In fact, the only guy, one other guy only broke 31 on that. That was Litherman up there in lane number 5.
Now Murphy, as expected here, leaving the field in his wake here. Olympic champion and a world champion here in the 200 back, and swimming like it. Time won't be spectacular, but solid stuff here for Ryan Murphy. Second here for Chase Kalish, but by over 3 seconds. Third coming home is Jay Litherman.
I like the time. I think the time you see Chase going under 2 minutes, that's a lifetime best for him. His best before was 2:001, so nice to get under that barrier for Chase Kalish. He's got to feel good about that. But I go back to Murph for just a second, Jay. Jason, I think the time is pretty good. A month ago, he was a second slower, remember, at the Pro Swim. So he's a full second faster than what he went. Right there in the middle, watch and enjoy that. He stays low across the water. He doesn't go real high, but he's very, very quick. I mean, he is just so explosive off the blocks. And again, just what we saw about Reagan. Just great rotation. That those hips rotate just enough to get that edge on the top of the water as he just digs in those hands. Just a beautiful swimmer to watch swim backstroke. And again, look at the line, man. Look at the line. That's an Olympic gold medalist right up there on lane number 7. And just what a beautiful swim again.
Again, Ryan's with us. That time, as Rowdy touched on, a second better than what it took to win in Knoxville. Does that please you, looking at the board?
Yeah. I mean, I think, the last training block we had was really good. I mean, I think it was 6 or 7 weeks between Knoxville and here. So I put in some really good work. Honestly feel really good about like the time, but also I felt like I was finishing well. Felt like at the end of it, I felt better than I did in Knoxville, so that's a great thing.
So what do you take as a lesson from a meet like this? A beautiful setting, but we're in March of 2022. What's the lesson learned?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly that's going to kind of come from watching the race video. I really just kind of want to see where the technique's at. I mean, I kind of knew what I wanted to do going into that race. I think I feel like I say the same thing every time I'm talking to you guys. I feel like I should have been a little bit more tough from the 125 into the 150, but that's the hardest part of the race.
Don't worry, Murph. You're tough, dude.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy, he'll be breaking it down back at home and looking at another win for him. Kalish again, new personal best, under 2 minutes for the first time in this event. Katie Ledecky, always going fast. She'll take a swim here in the women's 400 IM coming up.
This is the B final. Women's 400-meter individual medley. Agustina Heng of Argentina in 1. Porcia del Rio Brown of Puerto Rico in 2. Avery Clamforth of Swim Mac in 3. Alexis Yeager of Tennessee Aquatics in 4. A pair of Sarasota Sharks in lanes 5 and 6. Bailey O'Rankin and Riley Leach. Audrey Derival doing a difficult double in lane 7. And then Gracie Wyatt of the Sarasota Sharks is in lane 8. Agustina Heng of Argentina out in the 29.88, only sub 30 in the field. She's about 0.6 of a second ahead of everybody else at the 50. Continues to hold the lead, about 0.8 of a second between her and Avery Clamforth of Swim Mac, who's in lane 3. Clamforth out in a 31.4, back in a 34.7. Actually, she was 8th at the 50, second at the 100. Backstroke leg already underway. Halfway through the backstroke leg. A familiar scene still as Hen leads the way. Clamforth in second, but here comes Riley Leach. 37.9 on that first 50. Gracie Wyatt with a strong first 50, as does Clamforth put together a solid backstroke leg. Everybody in this field sub 40 on those first 50s. Starting to punch back up. You see lane 7, 6, 5, 3, and 1. All sorts of ladies still very much in the hunt here in the B final. And at the halfway mark, Agustina still leads. She's led since the start. But here comes Audrey Derival. Derival, the 13-year-old from the Jersey Wahoos, personal best in the 400 IM of 4:56.70. She missed that by only 0.2 of a second in the prelims. Derival just swam the 200 backstroke, 10 minutes ago, and she's hopping in the water to try and throw down a 400 IM. Riley Leach leveraging the first 50 of the breaststroke to move from 5th to 1st, 40.5. Alexis Yeager making waves as well, 39.8 on that first 50. Riley Leach of the Sarasota Sharks, the 15-year-old. Her personal best in the 400 IM, a 4:58.21 coming into the meet. She was a 4:56.49 in the prelims. Here's the final stroke swap, and it's Gracie Wyatt now in the lead. Feels like ever since the halfway point, we've had all sorts of shakeup on the leaderboard. Wyatt a 41.0, 41.1, 122.1 on the breaststroke leg to take the lead. Riley Leach in second. Avery Clamforth still very much within striking distance, 0.7 of a second behind at the 300-meter mark. But look at the build Gracie Wyatt has been doing. Wyatt's personal best in the 400 IM, a 4:49.15. She was 4:57.34 in the prelims. And at the 350, she's just outside of that personal best pace, trying to just hold off the rest of the field here. As we head to the final touch, will Wyatt hold on to the heat win? She will. 4:49.23. Gracie Wyatt winning your B final. 4:49.72 for Bailey O'Regan. O'Regan destroying her prelims best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving. Get your hands together for the A final of the women's 400 individual medley.
here after the refurbishment. Looking terrific. We'll touch more on that as we roll along. The finalists coming out here for the women's 400 IM, including one Katie Ledecky. We know freestyle is her forte, but whenever she swims the individual medley, you get one motivated individual. Ledecky, second fastest time in the world this year, as the runner-up to Katie Grimes at the last TYR Pro swim stop in Knoxville in January, and Ledecky with the top time for the prelims here. Canadians surrounding her in Chapluha, Anderson, and Jansen in lanes 3, 5, and 6. And there you see Pan Am's gold medalist for the Tennessee Volunteer great in the 400 IM, also short course world champion of this event in 2021.
Now, when we talk about the 400 IM, Summer McIntosh, who was the defending world champion from last summer, did not swim this race, so that certainly opens the doors for others, including the GOAT. Summer even called her the greatest freestyler in history. I'll one-up that and say she's the greatest female swimmer in history. Her body of work, again, unmatched. The longevity of her career.
Take your marks.
And I'll say this, I said it, I think, a few times on the broadcast with you, Jason, but I think if the stroke freestyle didn't exist, or it existed only in the IM, I think Katie would be right up there with the very best in history. She only trains freestyle because she's so versatile that. Really, I mean, we saw her in the 100 freestyle get runner-up over there. I mean, she swims 100 to the 1500, so she's so busy swimming freestyle, she can't concentrate on it. You really have to be an IM swimmer consistently to be great in that. Yet, you talked about leading second fastest in the world this year. Well, let's take last year, for example. She was the fourth fastest in the world. An event, by the way, just if Australia owns the 100 freestyle in women, the United States owns the 400 IM. 5 of the 8 fastest in the world last year.
And notched that time in swimming it at the U.S. Nationals in Irvine. Right now, it's the 17-year-old now from Canada, Ella Jansen, with the early edge in butterfly. Ledecky 7/10 behind. Then it's Weinstein, another teenager from the United States, and Sandpipers of Nevada out there in lane number 8 as they flip over to backstroke.
Another event that we don't see the silver medalist from those worlds, Katie Grimes, who almost chased Summer McIntosh down last summer for that gold at the Worlds. She swam earlier this meet, but decided to swim a couple of off events. And you're seeing a lot of swimmers. One right there in front of them, Katie Ledecky. I say off event, not really off, but because of the fact that she's, as I said, so versatile in so many freestyle events, she doesn't get to swim this very much.
So Ledecky pushing herself ahead of the 17-year-old Jansen here in the backstroke leg. Jansen, future Tennessee Volunteer from Canada, 5th in the Commonwealth Games in this event last summer.
Ledecky's so strong on those long axis strokes. When I'm talking about butterfly, freestyle and backstroke. Short axis, obviously, the other two. And this is an event, or stroke, I should say, that she has improved dramatically over the years. I think when she moved down to Gainesville, she was a great IMer before that. Former American record holder in the 400-yard IM when she was at Stanford. But I think overall, she's just has a much better viewpoint from 30,000 feet when she's come to Gainesville. I mean, she loves to swim. I saw her swim the 200 fly last night. You know, I mean, 100 free, 200 fly, double last night. So to have a double like the 200 freestyle, again, one of her best events, and the 400 IM, this is a tough double for her.
And as you touched on here in March, chance for a lot of performers to go investigate some off events, challenge themselves through training, getting ready for what they want to achieve in the heart of the season coming later this spring and in the summer. Katie Ledecky powering her way through the breaststroke. and ready to punish the field here. She sets up for freestyle.
Do you think anybody has a chance to catch her? Would you like to lay a little money on that, Jason? I don't think anybody's going to have a chance. And you check the time, 3:34.8. Now, her lifetime best is 3:35.7. So if she came home in under 101, she would be right at her lifetime at 25. She's only 25. I can't believe I'm saying that. It seems like she's 35, considering how long she's been around.
26 is coming, though. It's about 2 weeks away here in the middle of March, but still, your point's well taken. Still thriving here in her mid-20s.
Yeah, 31-1 there, so she's going to have to be 29 flat on the way home. But she's still going to be 4:36, 4:37, which is a heck of a time here in March. And again, coming off the double of that 200 freestyle in which she laid out a good time.
Katie Ledecky with a margin to victory, as she normally does, even in an off event here in the women's 400 IM. It will be Jansen coming in with a strong second place behind her, but about 7 seconds off the pace. Chapluha there in third. Katie Ledecky 4:36.04, the winning time for the American legend.
And again, just off her best time, her lifetime best. That was only 0.3 of a second faster than she went there. So she's still performing at a level that I can't even imagine. There's the GOAT. That's exactly what Summer McIntosh talked about earlier. Well, there you go. You see the greatest of all time in that stroke. But 11 years into this, and you see it right there, just complete dominance. What a swimmer.
Victory for Katie Ledecky, dropping about 4 seconds off her prelim time, just off her personal best here. What's your takeaway from that performance?
Yeah, I'm happy with that double tonight. My IM has been feeling good, so I just wanted to try to put together a really good swim tonight.
Have you ever thought about the IM? And if I was telling Jason earlier in that race, I said, what if freestyle didn't exist, or it existed only in IM events? What you could do in the IM, you concentrate so much from 100 to 1500, but can you ever imagine if you actually really train for it?
Yeah, I mean, I like to imagine, and I get asked it a lot, and I always joke that in the second half of my career, maybe I'll do it. But I'm enjoying swimming at these meets. It's kind of like my fun Pro Series race to just try to get better throughout the season and just having fun with it.
IM for fun. You go.
Thank you.
Katie Ledecky enjoying the victory here. Again, the win by over 7 seconds. Jansen coming home in second. Chapluha in third.
B final men's 400 individual medley. Kyle Valdez out of Arizona in 1. Nick Schaefer of Florida Atlantic in 2. Ben Delmar, Swim Mac in 3. Clayton Bernauer of Army West Point in 4. Freddie Klein, Swim Mac in 5. Casey Ated of Sarasota Sharks in 6. Xavier Ruiz of Ridgefield Aquatic Club in 7. And Mark Zoranik of Gator Swim Club in lane 8. Army Cadet Bernauer in lane 4, 27-4. Got about a 1/10 of a second lead over Zoranik of Gator Swim Club in lane 8. Bernauer's personal best swum this morning, 4:30.04. He's out in a 59.8. Zoranik out in a 59.7. The lead now, Nick Schaefer's in lane 2. Zaranek now in second, Bernauer in third. Schaefer out on a 34.6. Blowing away the rest of the field and building upon it. Zaranek still in second, and the two of them have a solid body length lead on the rest of the field. Here's the halfway mark. Schaefer 34.9 on the second 50. Splitting a 109.5 on the backstroke leg. The breaststroke we go. Zaranek in second. Bernauer in third. Schaefer in the lead. This morning, Schaefer had a solid breaststroke leg as well. 38.70, 38.9. We'll see if that continues to hold up as we hit the 250-meter mark. Zaranek in second by a second. Schaefer in the lead. 38.2 again on his first 50. Bernauer a second and a half behind the lead of Schaefer. Zaranek a solid second, 0.99 if we're being precise, but it looks like he's closing ever so slightly as we approach the freestyle leg. Quite a few men coming for that lead of Nick Schaefer as we approach the freestyle leg, and this is going to come out to an all-out duel down the final 100 meters. Schaefer's got the lead. Ben Delmar just jumped from 8th to 2nd on the breaststroke leg. Zaranek now in 3rd. And Casey Aitken of Sarasota in lane 6 is in 4th, rather. Final 100 meters. Zaranek wasting no time to immediately accelerate into the lead up there in lane 8. Zaranek 29.7 on that first 50. 32.1 Schaefer now in second. 32.8 Delmar in third. Zaranek trying to run away with it. Can he do just that? Schaefer looks like he's trying to respond. It may be too little too late because Zaranek caught everybody off guard. Flying down the stretch there. And he is going to win this B final. Running away with a 4:27.76. There's a disqualification in event 22. B final, lane 4, multiple butterfly kicks at the start of the breaststroke leg. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the A final in the men's 400 individual medley.
Sink into the water here. Time for the men's 400 individual medley. Wonder how Michael Phelps would have been as a diver. We know he is pretty good here in the 400 IM.
Definitely. Still the greatest.
World and American record holder. How about Bobby Fink? He's pretty good once he dives in distance events. Olympic gold medalist. 2 of them in the 800 and 1500 freestyles. Rolling here in the 400 IM. You look at the rest of the field here, including that teenager, Ilya Karun. He's got a double after the 50 fly, won the 200 fly already at this meet. Lauren Wigginton, 17-year-old from Canada. He's committed to swim collegiately at Michigan. New personal best in the heats for him.
Yeah, well, I'm only 2 teenagers, as you mentioned. Otherwise, this is a much more veteran-looking field. Olte in 6 is 21, and then it goes way up from there.
Take your mark.
Another event not quite as strong as the U.S. women, but still Very stout when you talk about Carson Foster, the legend himself, Kalish, the Olympic gold medalist, getting silver and bronze last summer at Worlds. I think was the 8th fastest in the world. This is like Katie Ledecky. I wouldn't say it often, but he's not quite as versatile at freestyle as Katie is. Swims more of a 800, 1500, 400 as kind of short for him, but again, a guy that I think if he really was able to concentrate on this would be even better than he is already.
3rd in the 1500 here at this meet, 6th in the 400 free here at this meet. Right now, Karun, in 18-year-old Canada, flying in his specialty, the butterfly, good by 9/10 as they shift to backstroke.
His best time 4:24. You're certainly going to. You've got to believe he's going to be faster than that. I mean, he goes his PB in the 200 fly by 2 seconds, so you got to think that this one's going to go down. There's that. Hey, it looks again a little mirror-like with the women's side, with Katie Ledecky behind on the fly, long axis strokes, turns over on his back, and now much better here on the backstroke for Bobby Fink in the middle, where he takes the lead right away from Karun.
How about that? Picking up 2 seconds there to take over the lead in 50 meters and trying to advance it right now. Wigington, the 17-year-old from Canada, trying to creep in there into the 2nd place spot.
Yeah, he outsplit Karun just on the 50, that one single 50 alone by almost 3 seconds. And that's a huge jump for him. Nice start. 2:32 is a good, pretty good way to start this first half of this grueling race, the 400 IM.
Breaststroke for Bobby Fink, 23-year-old Florida Gator, presenting St. Petersburg Aquatics.
Smooth right there. Now, you're going to see the field start to inch up on him just a little bit. Wigington, that young 17-year-old, the yellow cap, has overtaken the kid up top. And Karun has now moved into 2nd place. But you don't want to go behind Bobby Fink, just like you don't want to be behind Katie Ledecky. It's kind of strange, the mirror image of these 2 IMs that we've seen here tonight, because nobody's catching Bobby Fink on the freestyle.
Wigington, and starting to seize more of a solid grasp of 2nd place. Again, a personal best for him in the prelims. Looking to better that here in the final. And Bobby Fink ready to wind it up here in freestyle.
2.5 seconds faster than he was in the morning. Again, that morning swim, he went 4:21. I think anything under 4:20 would be pretty good right now, because I can guarantee you he is in the thick of hard training. Katie talked a little bit about that. They trained together up in Gainesville. He went 4:17 last month. Don't think that's in the cards here, but he's still going to put a time. And, you know, again, he's doing it all by himself. He's usually having to chase people down. He doesn't have to do that here. But it's hard to swim by yourself. It's hard to get up and have that get up and go speed.
Bobby Fink rolling here in Fort Lauderdale, 4:15.93 to take the win. Wins by 4 seconds, and the top time in the world here by a couple of seconds.
I was totally wrong on that. I said I didn't think he was going to be 4:17. Well, he flew right by that. He 29.4, 28.2. Never underestimate what this guy is capable of doing the last 50 meters. It's just always a thing of just awe, just complete awe what he's capable of doing.
So Bobby Fink with a victory here, a couple of disqualifications, including Nathan Holte from Ohio State, and Ilya Karoun there. Fink, though, with the win. Wigington in second spot, and another new personal best for the 17-year-old. Then it's Grant Sanders from Tampa Bay Aquatics, William Riley as well from Great Britain, finishing in the top 4 too. Bobby Fink has another W here to add to his resume, and the fans at Fort Lauderdale celebrating another great night of swimming here at the home of the sport.
Happy birthday, partner.
Hey, thanks.
Enjoyed it again.
Nothing better to be sitting alongside you and watching the best in the business here get after it from the site of the International Swimming Hall of Fame. Thanks for joining us for all of this great competition from the TYR Pro Swim Series, Fort Lauderdale, for the Hall of Famer, Rowdy Gaines, and our entire NBC Sports crew. This is Jason Knapp saying so long. Thanks for joining us here from Fort Lauderdale.
Bobby Fink, congratulations on that victory in the IM. I'll ask you the same thing I asked Katie. So let's pretend freestyle only exists in the IM. You're not a freestyler except on that last 100. What do you think the 400 IM would mean to you if that happened?
The freestyle is my favorite part of the 4IM, not only because it's the end of a 4IM, but it's my best part of it. So if the 4IM just turned to freestyle, I think I'd be a pretty happy person.
Can you explain the feeling you had normally having to kind of come from behind to have that huge lead going into that 300?
So I really wanted to push the backstroke throughout that 4IM, and I'm not too sure what my split was, but I knew I just wanted to have a pretty good backstroke split and just trying to hold on from there.
Well, you did a great job, buddy. Congrats, champ.
Thank you.
Bobby Fink liking the results there in the 400 IM. Hope you like the action here from City of Fort Lauderdale Aquatic Center. That'll do it for us. So long on this night from Fort Lauderdale.
Freestyle. This is the C final. Cameron Cannings of Canada in 1, Polina Novomavenko of Auburn in 2, Maria Jose Matacoco of Mexico in 3, Simone Manuel of Sun Devil Swimming in 3, Elin Daly of Canada in 5, Mackie Hodges of the Sandpipers of Nevada in 6, Kennedy Dobson of Eastern Express in 7, and Rebecca Sutton of Wales, who is our leader, is in lane 8. .58.41, Elin Daly out in the lead now after 100 meters. Sutton in second with a 58.47, and Kennedy Dobson jumping up into third, 59.14 for her on the front 100. Daly still leads. Simone Manuel jumping up into second place. Final few strokes here, and it looks like Simone Manuel may take this C final. Indeed, that is the case. 2:01.26, your C final win. (2:01.61). Elin Daly in second. Kennedy Dobson in third with a 2:01.98. Up next is event number 14, men's 200-meter freestyle. This is the C final. Jean-Pierre de Grotola Campos of RFK Swim Team in lane 1. Amadeus Knopf of Sarasota Sharks in 2. Wes Tate of Army West Point in 3. Luke Turley of Great Britain in 4. Tanner Falls of Army West Point in 5. Aidan Norman of Canada in 6. Norvin Klontz of Swim Mac in 7. And Hossein Fedeg of Canada rounds us out in lane 8. (54.17). Luke Turley leads in lane 4. The Brit's got a quarter-second lead on Tanner Falls. Final turn. Turley still in the lead. Mid-lead is now a half a second over Falls. Norvin Klontz, the 16-year-old of Swim Mac in lane 7, continuing to give chase. But Luke Turley looks like he's only getting faster and faster. Here comes a charge from De Grotola Campos in lane 1, but it's going to be all too late as our C final win will be Luke Turley, 149.95. Second place, a 151.65 for Norvin Klontz. And then a 151.73. Tanner Falls finishes in third. Our next event of the evening is event number 15. We head to the scoreboard side of the pool for the women's 50-meter breaststroke. This is the C final. Women's 50 breaststroke C final in the water. Splash and dash of the breaststroke variety. Lane 5, Stasia Makarova of Auburn. Looks like she may have a slight edge. To the final 10 meters we go. The Auburn Tiger looks like she will run away with this C final. Touching with a 32.46, a considerable win. 33.12. Second place, Maggie Kleinsmith. 33-14, Aurelia McGault of Army West Point finishes in third from lane 4. Back down to the scoreboard side we go for event number 16, the men's 50-meter breaststroke. C final. C final men's 50 breaststroke underway. Slight lead looks like lane 6. Will Heck of the Bull School Sharks may have a small edge on the rest of the field, but it's going to all come down to the touch. Quite a few gentlemen with the opportunity. Could be lane 7. But nope, it's none of those. It's Maximilian Pilker with a 29.20. Winning the heat from lane 4. Also Stewart with a 29.22 and Will Heck with a 29.24. Top 3 only 0.04 of a second from each other. Well, that wraps up all of the 50 breaststrokes for the week. Back to the scoreboard side we go again for the 50 butterfly. This time it's event number 17, the women's 50 meters butterfly. C final. C final women's 50 butterfly underway. Jillian Crooks in lane 1 of the Tech Titans got off to a great start. Looks like may have still a slight lead as we hit the final few strokes here. This C final, lane 5 as well. Pacheco Cunha. And it will be Mariana Pacheco Cunha with a 27.39. Sarah Paisley Owen, Metro Atlanta Aquatic Club in second with a 27.61. One more 50 to go this evening. It's the men's 50-meter butterfly. C final. Final 50 of the evening, the men's 50. 50 meters butterfly, that is. Right out the gate, looks like Jerome Hydrus of Mission Viejo may have a slight edge with a great start. The rest of the field bunching back up, and your guess is as good as anybody's. Maybe lane 5. Yes, it is. Dylan Smiley, 24.84. Getting his hand on the wall first. Diego Balbi in second with a 24.88. Josiah Morales in third with a 25.03. But Dylan Smiley will take home the C final win in the men's 50 butterfly. A little prep work needed to get ready for our next event. That's going to be event number 19, the women's 200-meter backstroke. Now it's time, event number 19, women's 200-meter backstroke. C final. Women's 200 backstroke C final. Elena Deinhardt of South Florida Aquatic Club in 1. Maeve Ackerman of Sarasota Sharks in 2. Lane Peterson of Army West Point in 3. Molly Donlin of Swim Mac in 4. Alexia Sotomayor of St. Andrews Aquatics in 5. Lila Higo of Bowles School Sharks in 6. Lily Nesty of Gator Swim Club in 7. And Elizabeth Erlendsdottir of Bowles School Sharks in lane 8. And at the touch, it's lane 7, Lily Nesty with a 2:16.45. Winning your C final, the 16-year-old from Gator Swim Club. Going almost 6 seconds faster than in prelims. There is a disqualification to report in event 19 C final, lane 5, false start. All right, up next, event number 20, the men's 200 backstroke. C final. Men's 200 backstroke C final. Ricardo Roche of South Florida Aquatic Club in 1. Kellen Russell of Tack Titans in 2. Eli Rowland of Rocket Swimming in 3. Embrus Barsak of St. Andrews Aquatics in 4. Jensen Nelson of Spartan Aquatic Club in 5. Caden Edwards, Great Britain in 6. Taylor Eaton of Florida Atlantic in 7. And Ulysses Saravia of Argentina in lane 8. 29.43, Jensen Nelson leads the way in lane 5 after 50 meters. Final turn, Eli Rowland in the lead, 32.7 on that third 50 to jump from fourth to first. Umbris Barsek of St. Andrews Aquatics was in second by 0.08. Kellen Russell, the half-second back of that lead for the TAC Titans in 2, but it looks like Rowland continues to lead. Will he lead at the touch? 2:07.33. Rowland wins the C final. Umbris with a 2:07.73 finishes in second, and then a 2:08.60 third for Caden Edwards of Great Britain, your third place finisher.